Hi everybody, welcome to another TABI Live with me, Janine Worthington. I'm the chair of TABI and I've got the great pleasure this evening of welcoming on Kim Arnold. Kim Arnold is the creator of the UK Tarot Conference, and I'm going to invite her on in a second when she just pops into the chat. Hi again everybody, thank you for popping back in. We'll just hang on a second for Kim to rejoin. There you are. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
It's still the same for me with the sound.
My sound is...
It's just kicked in. That's
Oh,
brilliant.
did it? Got my phone. There we go. Maybe it was me.
It
Okay.
can't be the case though, because it was fine for everybody else. So I'm not sure what's happened with the tech.
Maybe I jinxed it.
Jules says she hasn't got sound, but Mark can hear and Claire can hear. Okay, so Jules, just have a bit of a fiddle about with the volume. And we'll make a start. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for asking me.
And I was just asking you how you were. So you were just telling me about.
Yeah, so obviously conference is done and breathing a little bit now. I literally today received we do like a recap of the conference, like a little short video. So I'll be releasing that tomorrow. So I watched that about 20 times because it was, all the good bits. It was so good. But yeah, no, so now planning next year's already.
So I was going to ask this later on, but I think I'll ask you now. Do you not give yourself a break after the conference?
Yeah, I always go away after the conference. We went to Pompeii for a week. It was lovely. Had loads of, yeah, we had a personal guide, loads of ice cream and too much pasta, but it's fine. But no, we always do that because it's always close to my birthday as well after the conference. So we just have that little break and then sort of straight back into things. There's all, as an organizer yourself, there's always stuff to do.
Yeah, it's never quiet, is it? It is ongoing, and the evenings as well as the days. I mean, sometimes the laptop's just permanently open.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, so I'm really excited about next year's conference. It's like every year, it's like, how do you top the one before? And when you leave a conference on a high, which is how you always should, you can't imagine how you're ever going to, recreate that and make it better. And the bottom line is it's always down to the speakers and how good they are. And we just had a real fantastic lineup this year. As you know, it was Judgment Year, and never ever in 20 years have I had a conference where there have been so many tears, but not tears of like, oh, it's a crap conference. It was like tears of like, understanding judgment and being judged, and it's something that touched everybody. It was very odd in a beautiful way that everybody recognized some sort of judgment in them or at them, and it was a very cathartic conference. I feel it's very, very cathartic and healing, and the messages I had after, beyond people that wouldn't normally write were sort of writing and just sending emails and sending me personal notes of things that happened to them during meditations or card readings. And, I was really touched by that. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
That's so lovely. It is important to get the feedback, isn't it? And especially after all the hard work that you put into it as well. And I attended the one this year streaming, so like usually I'm sat in the audience, but I couldn't do it this year. So thank you, gave me the opportunity to stream in. And that was fantastic as well, because the people that you had managing all the streaming were spot on. They were asking us questions and they were getting back to us, and we just had a a brilliant view, and we were doing all of the cards as well and all the judgment exercises. And I have to say it was really, really powerful, because I wrote some of my spreads down, and the things that I was going through at the time, you know, just really resonated with the cards. And I think it was important because everybody else was sharing their experiences, and it just feels really, really magical. Even though I wasn't in the room this time, it still feels really, really powerful. So Anne-Marie said it was her first conference and it was amazing, right?
Anne-Marie is part of the Dutch tarot group, and there was like a lovely group of ladies who came. I met Jolanda in Sweden, in Stockholm, and she brought her girls over with her. They were just such a lovely group. But that was something else, you know, thinking about the world next year as we follow on from Judgment. Really how tarot connects us all. We had a lady join us all the way from New Zealand, you know, and how tarot literally connects us from every corner of the world. So Anne-Marie was one of my Dutch ladies, and very lovely she was too.
Oh, and I'm so glad she could join us this evening as well. So she goes, yay, recap. And Marion's on as well, and she also said it was really special. Marion goes every year as well. And what I wanted to ask you was, what gave you the inspiration to start up the UK Tarot Conference? Because it's your baby.
Well, if you had, we did record Friday night, but I haven't got that recording yet. So it was just important for us to get all the recordings out of the speakers. But so Friday evening, I spoke about my journey. And the journey started obviously 20 odd years ago when I had a New Age shop. And just to make a very long story very, very short, is that I had enormous issues with the church, or the church had issues with me. I didn't have issues with them. And it got to the point where the intimidation and the bullying, the harassment was just so horrible that I got to a point where I couldn't open my shop door anymore because of what this particular pastor might do. And he was a bully, and he used to come in every day and scream and shout at me and shout all this nonsense from the Bible at me. And I was just talking to someone today actually that you know, I talked about the journey of starting the conference. But something else that I had forgotten to mention, that it wasn't just this particular pastor in the local churches, that my son was 4 at the time, 4.5. He was at a little prep school, and every day he'd come home from school with these passages to learn from the Bible. I didn't have an issue with that. If that's part of the learning, that's part of the learning. And then a couple of weeks in, I was talking to a mum on the school gate, and I said to her, you know, I think it's a bit much every night they've got this religious learning. And she called her little boy over. And remember, they're 4.5 years old. And she said, why aren't you doing your homework? And he said, no, it's not for us. It's only for Alexander. That was my son. So I said, oh, is it now? Well, it turned out, and I didn't know this, that this teacher was actually a Sunday school teacher at a church near to his school, which was a few miles from where I live. So what had happened is that all this bullying and intimidation that the church were pounding with me every single day, that it had rippled outwards, that I'd become this sort of evil occult mistress of, you know, it was just horrible. And the very next day when my son, I took him into school, and it was like a big old-fashioned house with a door on a path, and I stood in the path as she came towards me, and I blocked the door so she couldn't get in. I said, I want a word with you. And she went, no, I've got to get past. And I went, you're going nowhere. I want to know why my son is being given all this. And I won't say what I said, but and she said to me, because he needs to learn, not like you, he needs to learn. So anyway, I sat in my car and I cried and I cried, and I thought, I don't know what to do. I ran back in the school, and the headmistress's office was on the bottom floor, and she said, Mrs. Arnold. I ran up the stairs into Alexander's classroom, and I said to him, Alexander, get your things, you're leaving. And the headmistress said, no, we can't have this. That's, no. And I told her what this teacher had done, and I pulled him out of the school. And I thought, you know what, that was how awful it got, that it wasn't just me that was getting all this abuse, that it was trickling down to a 4-year-old child that had no choice in the matter. It was what it was. But anyway, so back to the point of how the conference started, and again, in a nutshell, my husband and I took legal advice against the church, and the lawyer I've got a massive folder, I should have brought it here, a massive folder of all this stuff that this pastor used to send me, and bullying and threatening and nails in my tires of my car and things like that. And we went to the lawyer, and he said, yes, you have a case, but a couple of things. Do you have any dirt on you at all? Because they will find it. You will be like a lamb to the slaughter. And do you have £100,000 that you don't need? Because that is at least what it's going to cost you to fight this. So we left, and on the way home, my husband said to me, Kim, if you want to borrow against a house, you can. And I thought, do you know what? Why would I put everything at risk for the point of an argument? He's not going to change. They're not going to do anything. And all that's going to happen is I'm going to get it in the neck. So basically, and again, in a nutshell, because it is a very long story, I couldn't open the shop. I was too frightened to open my shop. And Martin said to me, you have two choices, Kim. You either shut the shop and go and get a proper job, which means, a proper job, not tarot-y stuff, or if you do something so big that they can't touch you, and you have your own people that are there to support you through whatever happens. And that's when the Tarot Conference was born. And I thought, I'm not going to step away from what I love and what I believe in. There is nothing wrong in what we're doing. There is nothing evil. There's nothing, we're good people. And that's why the Tarot Conference was born. It was born out of really a two-finger gesture to the pastor to say, okay, you come find me now. And anyway, so that was what started the Tarot Conference. And I have to say, the very first Tarot Conference, it was supposed to just be a one-off. I was going to do it, and then that was it, just to prove my point. And a newspaper, the independent newspaper, and again, remember, this is 20 years ago, the independent newspaper got hold of the story, and it was like a big newspaper, and it was a whole page dedicated to me, and it said tarot comes out of the suburbs and into the 20th century. And it was this whole article about tarot coming to London, opening up to the people, and blah blah blah. So anyway, I felt like I had done what I set out to achieve. And then after the first conference, people were going, oh, I've just heard there was a tarot conference in London. When's the next one? And I said to Martin, oh God, I'm going to have to do it again. And here we are 20 years later. So
you were pushed to do something. It was divine intervention. Absolutely. Your calling.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sorry. No, that's it. Yes.
Did the pastor ever come back and say anything, or did you ever cross paths again after that?
So what happened? This was settle down, everyone. Get a cup of tea. So what happened was, when I had my shop, if a book sold really well on the shelf, I would contact the author to come and do a workshop. And there was a lady called Sally Morningstar who was she was a hedge witch, and she wrote books on Wicca. She was on the Heaven and Earth show on the BBC. I mean, she was a beautiful, beautiful soul. We were doing a workshop, and I put all the posters in the window. It was long before social media, and Pastor Tidy came into the shop doing his absolute crust because I was promoting Wicca. He wrote me this letter that was so offensive and horrible. I felt physically sick reading it. But anyway, so I got in touch with Sally Morningstar. I said, Sally, we can't go ahead, because this has happened. And she said, Kim, I know someone who can deal with that. She said, send me the letter, and my friend Peter will deal with that. Well, what I didn't know at that point was that Peter was a high Wiccan Druidy priest, wizard, I don't know. Anyway, so he phoned me and he said, Kim, leave it with me. I'm going to write Pastor Tidy a letter. And I've got it here.
This is excellent.
I might have it here. Hold on 1 second.
Give some heart
Oh,
to everybody for the story. This is a great story.
So he said, yes, I will write. This is the big folder of all the crap they sent me.
Gosh.
And so Pete said, I'll write a letter, but I'll send it to you first, Kim, and you can just approve it. Well, he didn't. He sent it to Pastor Tidy, and he sent a copy to me on headed paper. And that was a headed paper,
Right, okay.
from the Sacred Coven of Amman. This is the actual letter filled with pentagrams. And then he signed, this is, for all those that were at the conference, this is the letter that he wrote, double-sided pages. This is all about godly bollocks and all that stuff. And then he signed it off. I don't know if you can see here, but he signed it off, Peter Mills, High Priestess, the Sacred Covenant. Oh, he signs it off in the name of the goddess and the horned god.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you think. So then what happened? Pastor Tidy came into my shop, incandescent with red. I thought he was going to have a heart attack.
Wow.
Because this letter intelligently really rips apart a lot of the stuff that he had sent me, and he challenges everything that Pastor Tidy had said to me. I'm just trying to find some things here that your statement that there is only one spirit that can be trusted. My opinion, our mother goddess is the font of the source of all wisdom, love and goodness. So can you explain more? I mean, that's just like part of the letter. Anyway, so it just got really horrible. But Peter then said in the letter that there was a big festival coming up. Oh, here we go. We'll be sending out energies to help you banish your own inner demons of hatred and mistrust during our ritual this coming Beltane. So, as you can imagine, Pastor Tidy was now like, I don't know, he didn't know whether to sort of, kill me or hug me. It's like he didn't really know what to do. But anyway, there was a little bit of witchery involved, and the church disappeared overnight, literally.
Wow.
And a friend of mine who lived a few doors up from, she had a shop in the village, and she said one night a big van came to the church, to the evangelist church, and they cleared everything out. She said, Kim, it was the oddest thing. She said they just went. And I didn't know this till days, maybe a couple of weeks later. I drove past and I thought, well, that's odd. It looks all shut down, and it was. So no one knew what happened. No one knew where they went. They just disappeared.
And they've never been back.
Never been back.
How
Never been
strange.
back. But, as much as it was like the most traumatic period of my life, it was just beyond horrible. I can't even tell you. I honestly, and this is not me exaggerating, I nearly had a breakdown. It was like I was that close to just losing it all. And I find it like I'm just finding it a little bit triggering now just talking about it. But he was so nasty, so wicked. And I thought, I am not going to be bullied by you. I am not going to not do my tarot. I am not going to not. And 20 odd years ago, tarot was still, it wasn't like it is now. We can talk about tarot to anyone now. You still had to be a little bit careful who you discussed it with.
Yes.
You still, you had to be. And I thought, I'm not having that. Like, I'm not, there is nothing wrong with it. There is nothing bad here. If we educate people about tarot, then maybe people would be more open to the wonders of it and the magic of it and all the rest of it. And, here we are. So that was why the tarot conference started. It started because of intimidation and bullying, and has now ended up like one of the most beautiful things on the tarot calendar, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if you look at it another way, and you don't have to say it like that, you started it because you had to prove what a strong person you are, and how much love that you got for your craft, for your practice. So you know, out of something so ugly, because bullying is ugly, and I can't stand bullies. I've been bullied really horribly in my life as well, and it took its toll. You know, it kind of shapes the adult, you know, and it shouldn't be that way, but it does. It has an impact. And you've also got to work doubly as hard. You've got to fight twice as hard to prove yourself. So it's really exhausting. I get it. And I'm so pleased that you carried on, because what a beautiful thing that came out of it. Yeah.
Because, and also it's interesting about the bullying, because people often say, why don't I talk at the conference? And for a long time, I just, I can put on a great event, but I'll hide in the shadows. I didn't want to really be, even going up, announcing speakers. It's like, like 20 drops of rescue remedy. It's like, just to get, not so much now, but then. And it's like just being seen. And there's one part that says, this is me, this is what I do, and the other part goes, yeah, but don't look too hard, look over there, it's fine, we're cracking on with things here.
Yeah. And honestly, when you get up and speak, you come across as, and I know you say it's different now, but I've always seen you come across as very confident speaker, very strong, so there's always a bit of a mismatch as to how you feel on the inside as to how you come across on the outside, because I think that you multiply things, don't you?
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I think it takes, for any speaker, they take a lot of courage. One of my speakers this year is someone incredibly confident speaker, and I said, are you okay? And he went, oh, Kim, the day I'm not okay is the day that I won't do a good job. He said, like, this is good. I'm feeling really nervous. I feel like my knees are shaking, but it'll be fine. And then gets up on the stage like, ta-da. And you think, you would never know.
I can guess who it is, and it's so surprising, isn't it? Because you don't imagine that.
No.
You just don't imagine it.
Not at
I'm
all.
incredibly shy, and nobody ever believes me. And it takes a lot to speak in public, to speak in front of other people, but people don't generally realise that until you actually say it out loud. And a few people have said similar things as well. Marion's online, and she said, she was told it was a phase that she was going through. All right, okay.
So that's to do with, getting into the tarot and all that. It's like, it will pass. It's just something you need to do, But it doesn't. It gets stronger, if anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so glad that it does as well, because it's important and it's relevant, and so many people are wanting to learn it now across the world. So,
absolutely.
What that person said all those years ago was absolute rubbish. And I do wonder what's happening with them now, because there is such a thing as karma. But it probably happened when the place got cleared out for them.
Exactly.
So tell me about the best part of running your conference then. What is your most favourite part of it?
Well, it has to be the reconnection of the people that come every year. And hello, Betty Jane, I know you're there. It's the friends that I've made around the world. And when I've travelled, it doesn't matter where you go, there's always someone that you've met through tarot. And for me, it's when I stand in the foyer of the venue, and then I see these lovely faces from the past. And, we talk about tarot family, but it really is. There is. And I often say it's like we are like kindred spirits, and we gather together at these events, and there's just something something very special about that. And for me, it's the people, and also it's the opportunity to, let me just say that one of the other things when I started the conference, the question to myself was, what do I want out of this? And it wasn't just to piss off the pastor. It was like, there has to be something more. And I thought, as quite an advanced reader, you know, I was doing readings professionally then, or trying to. And I thought, but where do I go to learn? If you're a beginner, it's easy to find a class. But if you're more advanced in your tarot readings, like, where do you go? So it was very important for me that when I started the conference, that I wasn't looking at the beginner level of tarot. I was looking at intermediate and above. So the people that were already teachers and speakers and readers, that they could learn new techniques, and they could learn more about tarot at a higher level. Because it's no good if you're a beginner coming in and then someone throwing the Kabbalah at you, or, you know, the astrology, and it's like, we all need to learn, but sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I think it's important that us as more advanced readers, that we have somewhere where we can go and know that we can still keep raising our level of understanding and learning all the way through. So that is a very important part of the conference for me. Not just the people are the most important part always, but it is also, sometimes it could just be one line out of someone's mouth and you think, God, I've been reading the tarot all these years, I never knew that, or I never saw that, or I never felt that. So that's, for me, is the most important thing.
And you never stop learning with the tarot, do you?
No,
Never
ever.
stop learning. And
Ever.
everybody has got a different insight. Like you said, people see it from different angles, different perspectives, for different backgrounds. And what I love about your conference is that it's so inspiring, so interactive. You know, there's loads of different subject matters that come in, but it's also, like you said, it's pitched at different levels. So you've got some intermediate stuff, and then you've got some beginner stuff, but all the way through, it doesn't matter what level it's pitched, it's so interesting.
Yeah,
it's really
definitely.
really interesting. And you throw the exercises in there as well. The speakers do the little workshop bits, and everybody gets together and they do readings for each other. So it's brilliant. I love it. I really love it. I love tarot conferences.
Hope you can come next year, Janine. We missed you. We missed you.
Oh, I was very vocal online. I was nattering away, and people were probably thinking, "Oh, I wish you'd just stop so I can listen to."
Oh, yeah, stop talking. Yeah, but anyway, I'm glad we can bring it virtually at least, so everyone can join in.
Yeah, that's good. So everybody who's tuning in, if you haven't seen Kim's conference, she's got her own Instagram page, but she's also got her UK Tarot conference page as well. So you can find it on Instagram. There's also a Facebook page, and you've got a website, haven't you, as well? So you can go and have a look. You can look at previous years as well.
Yeah.
And you also do an auction, and you've got a swaps table.
Yeah.
And you do a raffle as well.
Well, the swaps table is a bone of contention with me, because a lot of people put stuff down and then they don't pick it up.
You said that this year, yeah.
Then I end up bringing it home. No. Yeah, so, oh God, the tarot decks in my house, honestly, every cupboard you open up, they just fall out. I'm really going to have a sort out. Oh, thank you. Betty James just mentioned the esoterical as well, so you need to remember that.
Oh, absolutely. So the esoterical is also Kim's baby as well, with Steve as well. So you do that together. And you've also got the Instagram page for that, haven't you? It's got a web page as well, and you can buy different. It's a journal, isn't it? So is it a journal, or is it it's a journal / magazine?
It's I think we like to think it's more of a magazine. There's articles, reviews. Marion does the spreads for us, which she creates for us every half year. So yeah, we've got show and tell. So we this year we've got this lady called Janine Worthington telling us all about her
oh, that's me. I'm going through the menopause at the moment, kids, so I'm like, you know, oh, that's me.
Yeah, she's got a lovely collection by all accounts. And Ethany
I
Dawn.
forgot I'm in there. Brilliant.
Yeah, you're in there, yes.
Thank
So the deck that got away, So anyway, so yeah, it's a good magazine. It's a working magazine as well,
you.
because there are spreads in there. We've got the tarot, what do we call them, tarot scopes in there and things like that. So there's
Yeah,
lots of
I
information.
love Marion's tarot scopes, and Steve Bright is also the person that you work very hard with on very
Oh
closely
yeah.
on this.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's really the creative creator. We don't let me anywhere near that. We know our strengths. That's the thing, and we never argue. We never clash. Stephen goes, Kim, I've been thinking. I go, yeah, just do it. But he just has such beautiful vision when it comes to creating the magazine and putting it all together, and he's a real fusspot as well, because it's like, oh, that's slightly out, and I think, because I'm a bit slapdash with that, I go, no, it's fine. I go, no, everything has to be. There's a lot of hours goes into creating that magazine.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, which issue is it? The latest one that's out
Number
now?
9, issue 9, and you can download it as well. If you don't want a hard copy, you can
Yeah.
download.
Yeah. Brilliant. Um, so I will tag the Esoterical and the UK Tarot Conference at
Thank
the
you.
end. So the recording will go up on the page, and it'll be this one, and it won't be the first one. I don't know what happened with this round. It's so strange. It's not happened to me before, but I've had everything but the kitchen sink thrown at me this week.
No, I know that feeling. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody wanting to present at your conference?
Well, for me, I prefer to have people that I know their work. They don't have to know them, but I like to know their work. So to present at my conference, I would expect them to have some sort of something published somewhere, or to have a following where I can watch them and just see how they present and how they grow. I mean, I get a lot of people asking to speak, and I hate saying no to anybody. I mean, if I had my way of just saying, yeah, come, just come, but it's such a planning a conference. It's such a fine um, the timings, and just making sure that you get this up and down balance of, you have a very active workshop, and then maybe something that just grounds you a little bit more. And so what advice would I give? So they've got something published. That's the first thing. Not always, because not everyone has, but I think, sorry, just my son's trying to call me. Um, and to write to me, just put a little synopsis together of what they are and what their strengths are, I should say, and leave it with me. But I have to say that I'm 95% there already with my speakers for next year.
Wow.
So yeah, I get onto this very quickly. So yeah, the names are already in the pot. So there's
That's
yeah, just a little
so
bit of juggling to
quick.
do.
So you
Yeah,
already
and
had
I
it
do.
in your mind when you were organising the last one, who you wanted for the next one.
Yeah, always. And also, there's certain cards that we've done through the conference where there's certain people I think I would really love that person to speak, because I know that they would gel well with devils and towers or stars or whatever. There's certain people that I just feel that they're right for the spot. A lot of my lineup is, I suppose, done on intuition of, if names approach me, or often approach them. um, I sort of get a vibe of where they will be in the program. I don't know, I just have a gift of being able to see it before it's actually happened, and I've always trusted that. So that's what I do.
Have you got a favourite speaker? Are you allowed to say out of
No,
the
I can't. I
whole
can't say
20
no,
years?
but no, I can't say. I do have speakers that I like more. No, not like. That's not right. That I do have speakers that I love. When they're on the stage, they just bring something different. Um, but I am going to name one person, because I know he's not doing this anymore. But when I first started my conference, And bearing in mind that my shop was shut, I wasn't selling anything, I was still paying rent, I was still paying all the bills. I mean, it was just a horrendous time for me financially. And it took me a long time to get the conference to a place where financially it was even viable. Don't even think about making profits or anything like that, just that it was paying for itself. And I'd been to the New York conference and I saw a speaker called Mark McElroy. He did what was the name of his deck? It'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, it was the first time that I'd seen someone on a stage, because he was also a motivational speaker. I think he worked for this big corporation in the States, and he just had this real sort of razzmatazz energy. I just fell in love with him. And I can remember sitting there thinking, I want you to come to London. I want you to come to my conference, but I couldn't afford for him to come. Anyway, I wrote him an email and I said, you know, we met in New York and you were wonderful and I would love you to come to London, but there is a problem. And that problem is that I haven't got any money. And that was genuinely true. And he said to me, don't you worry about it. I will be there. He said, don't worry about anything. We will sort something. And bless his heart, he came to London with his husband Clyde, just the most beautiful couple. And he came on my stage and I paid him an absolute pittance. I mean, he just paid his hotel, he paid his flight, and I would never ever forget him for that he was there right in the early days. And you know, he stood on my stage then. We were at a venue in Victoria in London, and he just wowed me again. And I thought, you know, you are the best. And the funny thing, I think it was last year he came to London. He was traveling, came to London. I hadn't seen him for all that time, and met him for dinner, took him to the Ivy for dinner. I thought, that's it, we're going for it now. And it was like we had never been apart. So he's very special to me,
That's
but
lovely.
he's given up the tarot now. He is writing. He is an author. He's writing, but he's not doing tarot stuff. But yeah, he's incredibly special to me.
Sounds like a lovely, genuine, down to earth
Well,
person.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mentioned actually Kathleen and John Matthews, because they came to the very first conference and they've been to every single one for 20 years. They have never
Wow.
missed a conference. So, you know, they've been good, you know, stable, wonderful friends, you know, walking alongside me if they've seen me go like this along the way. So, yeah, you know, there are some real genuine you know, loyal people. And I see that at every conference. You know, someone came last year or the year before and they come back again, and it is like seeing family that you haven't seen for a long time.
It is like family, isn't it? I've always thought that as well, you know, such strong connections. And the friends do become your family, and the tarot world becomes your life, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
At the moment, I wish that I could just quit my day job, just merge into the tarot world completely. I'm not quite there yet, but you've got to be brave and take that step, haven't you, to
Yeah,
go into the thing that you love
and
completely.
it's a big step, you know, because I worked in the corporate world, you
Mm.
know, I worked in London for years. I had a really good and well-paid job, and it's like, and then you sort of just, I can't do this anymore. Like, I just cannot do it anymore. And that's when I opened my New Age shop again. There's a story behind that, but I did, and never looked back. But there's been some very lean times. I'm not going to lie. You know, people think a shop is like the amount of people used to come in my shop and go, "Oh, I'm going to have a shop like this one day." I thought, "Well, good luck with that," because like you never have to do it again. But what propped up my business was the readings. It wasn't selling a packet of joss sticks, you know, on a Thursday. It was like doing the readings was the main income. So, you know, when the time's right, Janine, it will happen for you, and you'll be able to do that. But it is a brave step to just say, "That's it. It's going to be my life."
Absolutely, yeah, because I would love to move with the festivals. I would.
Yeah.
I've got a dream of having a VW camper van and just moving through the festivals, and maybe moving through the European festivals as well, and then ending up back at the tarot conferences, and it's a lovely dream, but you've also got to be able to maintain the VW camper van, haven't you, as well as everything else. You need the money for the petrol.
Yeah, have to go on a mechanics course or something, like, just to make sure.
It's a nice dream, but there's like you said, there's a lot of hard work that props up these dreams. It's not just a quick fix.
Well, Marion said, get used to eating pasta.
And beans, baked beans. Oh gosh, yeah, I've just seen that. And oh, Jules says definitely divine timing.
Yeah.
Oh, so a few more comments. Hi, Isa. Marcus said, oh, pint of Guinness with your name on it. I don't drink anymore, Mark. And oh, Neil's left a lovely comment. He said the UK Tarot Conference is such a wonderful welcome gathering. Kim's inspiring kindness, strength, wisdom, and good humour shines through in every detail. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Next step, the world. And Kim also gets the most amazing cakes as well with the tarot card on. Is it always a Rider-Waite card that you have in the cake? Yeah.
My friend Liz, who's responsible for the cake, she's she every year she gifts that to the conference. So it's it's become part of the package now that there's cake with the card on. Yeah, I don't know how she does it, but anyway, maybe you can buy transfers now. I don't know, but yeah, that's not me.
Yeah, no, it's a really good idea. I always get to take a picture of the cake far too late, and there's like one slice of it. I don't think I've ever had a piece because it goes really quickly.
We'll save you a bit if you come next year.
And so the one thing I wanted to ask you as well was, how do you juggle everything alongside organising the conference throughout the year? And does your husband help you with all of it as well?
No. Martin's got a very busy, high impact job. So it's when we're close to the conference, he's great. He can print things off for me and he checks that I've got, everything is in order. That's the thing where we're so different, because he's very orderly, where I'm very messy and creative with this. So my desk, which you can't see, is behind me, but it's like a complete mess. No, you're not going to look at it.
What about the feng shui?
Yeah. Well, it's Martin's good. We've got pens in pots and we've got paper all nicely stacked. But anyway, so how do I don't know. I think that saying, if you want something done, ask a busy person, because somehow, and I've got an elderly mum to look after, and I've got a grandchild who I love looking after, sometimes in the week, and I don't know how I honestly, sometimes I generally do not know how I get it all done. And just today, Stephen and I am going to tell you, we've got a little, we just got a contract for we're doing a film project. So, and that was thanks to the TABI conference. When you asked me late, when Robert Place couldn't make it, and you asked me quite late in the year to, if I could speak. And I can remember being on the tube thinking, God, what am I going to talk about? It's like for an hour and a half or whatever it was. And I thought, well, I know, I'll do the Feng Shui Tarot, which I hadn't actually done before. I just, I've not made it up because it's real, but, I sort of threw the idea together. And then after people were saying, have you got the book? And I'm going, oh, yes, thinking they meant my book, my Hay House book. And they go, no, not that book.
Yeah.
The Feng Shui book. And then Steve and I spoke about it, and we are working on it. And just today we actually got something agreed. So that would be 2024. So how do I? And then I'm thinking now I've got to write all of that. I've got to write that book now before March next year. And anyway,
for March.
Wow. It will get done.
Yeah,
because
that's a quick turnaround, isn't it? Who's your publisher?
Well, I can't tell you that yet, but
yeah. So that you're going to announce that news soon.
Yeah. We have signed contracts. We just agreed things. So
okay.
But it's coming soon. So that's all good news. And you know, I don't know how I fit things in. I just seem to manage to do it. So I get up early and I go to bed late, and that seems to do it. But you know, the good thing about working for yourself is that you can juggle your day. So, you know, I can take 3 hours out in the middle of the day if I need to, but it might mean that I've got to work. And it's not every day. You know, some days I do have days where I think, oh, I'm not really going to touch anything. Just check on emails, that's all. But so it's just finding a way. But but it works. So yeah.
And you are incredibly organised. You got to give yourself credit for that.
I'm actually not, Janine. I'm the most
Really?
unorganized. I'm terrible, honestly. I work in such a muddle, and that's my, you know, I've got Scorpio, Cancer rise. I'm Scorpio, sun
Have
signs,
you got
Cancer,
Cancer rising as well?
and it's chaotic. It's all this emotion going everywhere, and it's chaotic.
Yes.
But it gets done. And I got this thing about putting books on chairs. And it's the one thing, like when I do my feng shui, I said, don't do that. It's a terrible thing to do. And then I've got like 27 decks on a chair that I've got to review. No, but then, you know, every now and again, I'll just have a big clear out, sort everything out. I've got a big pile of book stuff here as well. I've got to review
Yeah,
stuff.
I've got a big pile of stuff as well.
It can stay there. It can stay there.
Must be a Cancer rising thing. We'll ask Marion, because Marion, I think, is still on. And everybody's saying congratulations as well.
Oh,
Saying great news, congratulations, amazing news. Everyone's really pleased for you.
well, that's lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
And we were blown away by your presentation, because it was just so enjoyable, and because it's something that you can relate to on such a personal level. In your head, you're thinking, oh yeah, that's where my room is, that's where my furniture is, I need to do this, I need to do that. And everybody likes a bit of housekeeping, don't they?
You know,
Secretly.
at the TABI conference, a guy, I didn't know him, he called me over and he said, do you know, out of all of the lineup, he said, yours was the one workshop I didn't want to do. I thought it was a load of old rubbish. And he said, and then he said, oh my God, you've blown me away. And then he had this big bargoir and he said, oh, Cancer Risings are too busy feeling all the feelings to bother about being tidy. And he said, can you just help me with this? What does this card mean here? And he said, you have completely, you know, just transformed the way I think about the whole thing. So that was lovely. We do like to convert people if we can.
Oh, that's good. And so maybe you're going to do how good would that be, a tie-in with your world conference, because you're going to be able to present it in that capacity. Yeah,
but that means me speaking, and
yes.
I'm not sure about it. So,
but it's the world. It's the perfect time.
We'll see. Maybe there's not a gap for me now. Maybe I've filled them all up. I might do a lunchtime workshop because it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I want to convert people, because the way that we're writing the book is there's one part which is about the personal implications of an area, and the second part is the home implications. So, you know, so for example, if last week we wrote about mirrors, we actually put it on Instagram, and do Friday night. Do you think so, Mark? I might do.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, you should do that.
Do Friday night. But so we wrote about mirrors. So the first part was on a personal level. How do you feel when you look in the mirror? You know, it's like a mirror is friend or foe. And we all have those days where we don't like what we see, or we, you know, any flaws that we think we have are exaggerated, and you know, and what the effect of that is. And then the second part is, well, where should you place a mirror in your home? If you have a mirror here, move it. If you have a mirror there, keep it, or put one here, and why you should have mirrors in certain places. So that's the whole sort of the whole theme of the deck, which is like personal, and then what you can do about it. Oh, thank you, Marion.
Oh,
Said
yes. Using your techniques have changed Marion's life. That's nice.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, but and the things about what mirrors reflect, what you don't want them to reflect. So you wouldn't want a mirror in front of your bin or in front of your bathroom or anything like that. And I think you said something about having one reflecting the front door as well.
Yeah. So you shouldn't have one facing out the front door. But you could have one in your, if you come in through a front door, you can have one on the wall because it's expensive, but you don't have anything that bounces the chi or the energy back out of the door.
Right.
But you know, all can be explained in our deck, which is called Home Magic. That's what the deck is called, or will be called. And I think Stephen made an announcement today on Facebook. He couldn't wait. He was wetting himself to make an announcement. And I'll do my announcement tomorrow on Instagram.
Amazing. So it's called Home Magic.
Yeah,
That's
what
yes,
they
and
call
we'd love to get more involved as well. So like help promote and everything with TABI. So that'd be great.
Thank you. Yeah, so all good.
Great. Everybody's staying really curious. And oh, Claire said mirrors letting the light to our home, which is dark otherwise. Yeah.
And that's another use for mirrors, you know, it's like we've gone completely off topic now, but yeah, that's another use for mirrors, that you can expand energy in a really positive way. Just be careful what they're looking at.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely. All about having that good energy within your home, isn't it? And using oh gosh, sage to cleanse and things like that as well. Getting rid of bad energy. I've been doing that recently.
Absolutely. Yeah. And making sure you have crystals in the house, that you're cleansing them regularly. No, I had a bit of a clear out this weekend because I've got a jade plant, and every time someone gave me a crystal, I'd put the crystal in the jade plant, and then it was like cluttered. I thought my poor old jade plant was looking really sad, and I thought it's suffocating with crystals. So I took them all out, cleansed them, put them in the garden, and just sort of intuitively picked them up and thought, no, not that one, but yes, that one, and just intuitively chose the ones that I felt should go back and took a few out, put them in an organza bag, because I know whether a client or a friend or a family might need something, and I know that one of those crystals needs to go somewhere else, and they've done their time with me.
Oh, that's a nice way to look at it. And yeah, definitely. I've got crystals in all of my plants that need to come out and get recharged and everything. So you just reminded me. Thank you. Has anybody got any questions for Kim? Because we're coming up to the hour mark, and she's told us all about the story of the UK Tarot Conference, how it started out, the inspiration, about the journey through it as well. And we've gone through many other topics along the way. But if you've got any questions now, you can type them into the question box, or you can type them up in the comment section. I'll just have a quick check back through what everybody said. Lovely to see Betty Jane on as well.
Yeah, thank you, Betty Jane. Are you 5 hours behind, I think? Are they 5 hours behind?
She's also one of your strongest supporters as well, isn't she? Every single year without fail.
She's the best, yeah, she's the best.
Oh, Keanu Reeves joined our chat.
It's who you know, and it's who you know. You know.
He is very spiritual.
Absolutely. I'd like to ask about my love life.
Oh, this is my friend, but we're not pulling cards in this one. So it's more a chat, because Kim runs a tarot conference, so it's more questions about that. But I can do some cards for you at some point. I absolutely don't mind. And Mark says, no questions, just thank you. Mark goes to your conference every year, and he says we both produced amazing conferences this year. More power to you. Thank you very much. No worries, Isa. Oh, there we go. Can you give us a sneak peek for next year's speakers? No. You knew she was going to say no.
But I'd have to kill you. We don't. No, I can't. I always announce early next year. They'll all be announced. So I'm still just waiting. I'm in talks with the venue. Dates have been agreed. I haven't signed contracts yet. I don't like to do anything until the signatures on the paper. The speakers have all been approached. Most of them, I think there's just one that's just juggling something. So I won't announce until I have it all set in stone. And then once that announcement goes out, then I can just, you know, sit back a little bit then. Contract signed, announcement. So just quickly, Janine, so the TABI conference, you got a date in the diary for next year?
So we've had to shift the weekend forward. So we've not announced that date yet, and we're juggling a couple of options for the venues around Manchester Piccadilly Gardens. I've got to go up actually over the next few weeks to do a bit of a recce of the hotels. So not announced anything yet. No.
Okay. All right.
But we'll be doing very, very soon. Yes.
Excellent.
It's exciting, isn't it? It's nerve-wracking,
Yeah, cool.
but it's exciting.
Yeah. I usually start sleepwalking about 2 weeks before, and then I get these night terrors. It's like every year, like the night terrors start, but it's okay. And then when I'm there, it's like, yeah, it's all fine. Everything's good.
Yeah.
It's just
It's nerve-wracking, isn't it? And the most important, if you have a smile on your face, you can get through anything. Is it 2 days? Yeah, we're planning on changing it to a 2-day conference. So that's the other thing with so many big changes going through at the same time. There's a lot to sort out in the interim. So yeah, we will make announcements soon. And I have to say, Kim, that you were my inspiration as well, you know, when starting to, as well as Jennifer, the previous TABI chair, but like I took a lot of inspiration from you as well, you know, just how you manage things, you know, how confident you are on stage, and yeah, because you are brilliant.
Smoke and mirrors. Like you say, just smiling.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. We've had a really good chat. That hour's gone so fast.
I know. I feel like I've talked too much. Sorry about that.
You're the guest. We want you to do that. It's important. And yeah, everyone's saying thank you. I will post a few links on afterwards with the recording. I'll tag you in the recording, Kim, so then it stamps across to your page as well. Do you want me to do that for Kim Arnold or for the UK Tarot Conference one?
Arnold, because I'm on that one more than the other one. But so if you do that, I can always switch it over. But
Kim,
yeah, if you thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Right, thank you everybody. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for your lovely questions, and lovely to see you all as well. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.